now that you've paid your body the wages of samosa, we're on stanza 72. I should desist from inconsiderately and noisily moving around chairs and so forth, as well as from violently opening doors. I should always delight in humility. Okay? So, yeah. Makes sense. The stork, the cat, and the thief, by moving silently and carefully, accomplish what they desire to do. A bodhisattva too should always behave in this way. Okay. So of course, some of this, these next stanzas, of course, are like culturally determined, right? What makes something polite or impolite also is dependent on the norms of the culture, the time and place, right? But in general, what Shantideva is saying for us, that whatever we do, we should do it in a way that is going to be pleasing to others and not disturb others. So in general, like slamming doors and like throwing things around and being very, how do you say, uncontrollable in behavior, it doesn't look nice, first of all, and it kind of makes people be like, what is that guy doing, right? So we should be very mindful about how we behave so as to not inspire kind of condemnation or even just funny looks from others, and instead try to inspire them to virtue. Yeah? Okay. Then the next section, Gyaltsab says, is skillfully interacting with others in a virtuous way. Okay? With respect, I should gratefully accept unsought after words that are of benefit, and that wisely advise me and admonish me. At all times, I should be the pupil of everyone. Means the student of everyone. Okay? Ale. Here actually, the translator of the commentary has a different reading of this. He translated this stanza as skillful in inducing others and through placing the true beneficial words respectfully on your crown, become the student of all. So he's saying the first line is talking about be skillful in inducing others to practice virtue. And then in the commentary he says, although one usually should have to invite advice, if someone gives well-meant, unsolicited advice, one should place that advice respectfully with joy on one's crown. Without pride, one should always become the student of all that have provided good advice. Okay? Yeah. Okay? So, this sometimes is difficult for us, right? When people criticize us or point out faults, we tend to get offended, but we take it with offense, and we defend ourselves. But here, as I said, that these opportunities, because it's very difficult to see our own faults in general, we think we're, number one. Then when people do point out faults, it gives us a very precious opportunity to on the one hand, check if what they're saying has some truth in it or not. And if it does, then very wonderful, because we now have something that we can work on. But even if there is no truth in it at all, then still it's an opportunity to work on that sense of the I. How dare that person criticize me? It's not true. Then even that I manifesting, the self-cherishing mind, when it manifests, it's helpful because it helps us target our mind. Okay? Alright. I should say, well said to all those who speak Dharma well. And if I see someone doing good, I should praise them and be well pleased. Okay? So this is a way, Bodhisattvas also, help others, encourage others in their own practice of virtue. And one way of doing that is when we see someone doing something well, we compliment them, we encourage them, we rejoice in the good deeds that they're doing. Yeah? I should discreetly talk about the good qualities of others and repeat those that others recount. If my own good qualities are spoken about, I should just know and be aware that I have them. Okay? So here in the commentary, it says to kind of praise the good qualities of others discreetly, because if one expresses them directly, then they might think it is flattery. Right? So, I don't know. In the previous line it says, when I see someone do good, I should praise them and be well pleased. So, I'm not sure.
It should come from the heart, that's all.
Yeah. But maybe there's also something to think about, whether it's in public or not. Because if it's a big group like this, and then I praise the qualities of Subhashina's learning, her diligence and practice and all this, it could be that someone else is like, should be like, let's say, I study Namjong never praises me in the whole group like this, right? So to avoid that kind of, jealousy. What do you think?
I'm sorry, I missed it. Saying praise the good actions and discreetly talk about the qualities.
I like it.
Also of others, it's in bracket, right? So I'm thinking, could it be like, see, normally when a couple of people come together, there's a lot of gossip happening. So maybe it's like, let's talk about the good of others. Discreetly praise others in the group, if that's the understanding I'm having. Because it goes on to say, and repeat those that others may come.
Yeah. So in Bodhisattva's commentary, it says, secretly praise the qualities of others because if one expresses them directly, then they might think it is flattery. When others praise the qualities of a third, then agree by saying it is like that. That's all it says. Now, if your qualities are praised, then without conceit, analyze whether the mind really has these qualities or not. If you have, then simply recognize that you have that quality without becoming proud. Okay?
So that's why he's stating that maybe it's not good to state your judgments and do it this way. But when somebody else states a quality and you agree with that, you support that person.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Be modest.
Yes. Anyway, use your judgment. I think all those things are, have some sense to it. I know from my own experience that sometimes, wow, yeah, the kind of group situation, has happened, right? Has happened to me. I mean, I do try to encourage others by praising them, but yeah, in group settings, and that can also cause jealousy if people aren't praised, right? And then people can think I'm playing favorites. What are some of the things we've heard? So, I wish I had read this earlier. No joke. I've read this all the time. Okay. So next, 77. All deeds of others are a source of joy that would be rare, even if they could be bought with money. Therefore, I should be happy in finding this joy in the good things that are done by others. Through doing this, I shall suffer no losses in this life, and in future lives find great happiness. But the fault of disliking the good qualities will make me unhappy and miserable, and in future lives I'll find great suffering. So, here again, the translator of the commentary has a different translation than the root text. So he's saying, because all efforts are to bring joy, it is so precious, it is priceless. Thus, enjoy the blissful happiness that comes from the virtue of working for others. So he's saying, you understand? Working for others. This root text, that you have in here, it seems more like I should be happy in finding this joy in the good things that are done by others. So it's talking about the practice of rejoicing in others' virtue. But here in this commentary, it's talking about, be happy to work for others. So I think he's following Gyaltsabje's commentary here, because Gyaltsabje says all actions of the 3 doors of bodhisattvas are to make others happy. What are the 3 doors? Body, speech, and mind. Okay? So all actions of bodhisattvas are to make others happy. Hence this happiness of others is so precious that it is priceless, like a rare object that cannot be bought even with great wealth. Well,
Sorry?
I mean, on some level, everything is linked with karma.
Because it says, no, for these last 2 lines about.
Yeah, so this is what I was saying. In this, it's saying, therefore I should find happiness in finding this joy in the good things that are done by others. That's talking about the rejoicing. When you see someone do something virtuous, you yourself are happy seeing that they are accumulating causes for future happiness. But based on the Gyaltsab commentary, the translator of this text, this version that has the root verses, renders that verse as, thus enjoy the blissful happiness that comes from the virtue of working for others. That means when you do things that benefit others, you should be happy, thinking that you're bringing happiness to others. You understand the difference? One is you see others doing virtue and you think, oh, it's good, they're going to experience happiness in the future. But the next is, I'm cherishing this other sentient being, I want to make them happy. So when we do actions that benefit others, even if it entails some hardship on our part, then we're happy, just because that makes them happy. Yes? When talking, I should speak from my heart on what is relevant. Making the meaning clear and the speech pleasing. I shall not speak out of desire or hatred, but in gentle tones and in moderation. Yeah, it's easy enough to understand, right? So, in general, when they talk about the non-virtue of speech, it's 4 actions of speech: lying, harsh speech, divisive speech. Divisive speech is if 2 people are friends or close, and to talk to one about anything that would then seek to split them. And the last is kind of like gossiping or senseless talk. Okay? So when we talk, we should do the opposite. What is relevant, and then make the meaning clear and also the speech pleasing, and not motivated by desire or hatred. Okay? So now this is very nice. When beholding someone with my eyes, thinking, I shall fully awaken through depending on this being, I should look at that person with love and an open heart. Sorry. I'm not sure what time is on. But in any case, it's very nice, actually. This is one of the very quintessential trainings that we should undertake in our daily life. You understand? It means whenever we look at someone, to think like this, in dependence on this sentient being, will become a Buddha. Okay. There's many of these kinds of mindfulness trainings that we can undertake in our daily life. We should undertake in our daily life. So, now, I'm using the word mindfulness, right? So usually, when they talk in other contexts about mindfulness, it's like, mindfulness of the breath, or mindfulness of body sensations or something. But actually, this word mindfulness, Drenpa, has a connotation of remembering or recalling. So it has a connotation of bringing to mind again and again. So we need to cultivate this mindfulness, this awareness of sentient beings being the most precious, more precious even than ourselves. So again, if we just think of our Dharma practice as what we do on a cushion in the morning and evening, for whatever, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, even an hour, we're not going to make so much progress, right? So when we start to talk about, remember Bodhicitta, right? This altruistic wish to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. You see, we distinguished that that goal, with the goal of seeking individual nirvana for oneself alone. Okay? So, as horrible as samsara is, for us, just to get liberated from samsara and never have to experience suffering again, while all other sentient beings are still suffering in the ocean of samsara, is completely unacceptable. It's something not desirable at all. The Bodhisattvas abandon that aspiration. They don't just want to have liberation for themselves while sentient beings are suffering. Okay? So, just to have that thought that forgoes one's own individual, total freedom from suffering to work for others, then that's why we actually need to learn how to cherish other sentient beings even more than ourselves. Right now, it's not like that at all. We cherish ourselves much more than the numberless sentient beings in the world, if we're honest. But we have to totally flip that on its head and cherish sentient beings even more than ourselves. So how then do we do that? Well, I had alluded to earlier this thought to think that all sentient beings have been our mother. Right? So that actually is one way of doing bodhicitta mindfulness in daily life. Every single sentient being we see, think, oh, this one has been my mother. And by the way, not just once, but countless times. And, the very same way that my mother, cared for me, took care of me, protected me, educated me, this one did that to me so many times. Wow. Of course, Namjong Rinpoche tells this story, but you should think of your own stories too, right? So Rinpoche, he's telling the story of when he was in the airport, maybe San Francisco airport or something, when he sees a mother with her children, 3 children, and the children are crying, wanting this and that, and being all very, very needy children, very demanding of a mother. And so Rinpoche, he says, he says like this, whether it's true, I don't know. But he says, after 5 minutes of watching that, he was just totally bored. Thinking, oh, I could never do that, be a mother and have those whining, nagging kids all the time. But then, to also, then to think, oh, but wait a minute, I have been like that naggy kid, and, that woman, that mother, also, was so patient, giving me the food, giving me what I wanted, giving me the toy. She did that to me. Then he says, then you feel an instant kind of connection. Right? So on my flight back from Europe, I watched some National Geographic. Very, very, very interesting, very nice. They had this one thing, it was like the blessings of the Buddha, of how in the animal kingdom, all this stuff that the mothers do for their children. Really amazing. So you can do research like that. There's a one where, what kind of stories? There's this one type of bird in Africa. The birds is very, very easy to see, right? So these chicks are constantly like chirping, and then actually both the mother and the father, they're constantly going out, getting worms, coming back and putting it in. It's like constantly. They do that all day. They have like five birds, and their insatiable appetite. So then, yes, kindness, but not only that, karma. Then those mother bird, the father bird, killed so many worms, insects, collected so much negative karma for the survival of the offspring. So then, you add that. This person has been my mother. Of course, human, you can think of all of the kindness as a human. But then, when I was that bird in Africa, then so many worms every day, collected all that negative karma. So kind. Anyway, I could go on and on. But, so kindness of the mother, thinking this one's been my mother. Then remembering the kindness, and then at least we get the sense of connectedness and a sense of warmth towards others. Yeah. Then what Shantideva is saying here is independence on this very sentient being, I'll become a Buddha. Right? So it's another type of mindfulness for Bodhicitta. Here the thought is, right, how do we become Buddha? Remember we were talking about the real cause, the kind of main cause, you could say, is the development of Bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is the wish to attain enlightenment for all sentient beings. Okay? So now, without this sentient being, if I don't have bodhicitta in regard to this sentient being, then I don't have bodhicitta in regard to all sentient beings. Right? So, without this sentient being, without me developing compassion for this sentient being, there's no enlightenment. So then, independence on this sentient being, I will become Buddha. That's one. That's one. But there's others. Second, right? let's say, a beggar or someone, they need something, right? Now, they've come in our field of vision. So now, if we, through the mind of Bodhicitta, and then think, I need to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, and then think, the main practices of bodhisattvas, right, are these 6 chapters, the 6 perfections: generosity, ethical discipline, patience, joyous perseverance, meditation, and wisdom, right? So, this sentient being now, by giving me the opportunity to practice generosity, gives me the opportunity to accumulate the causes for attaining enlightenment. Therefore, I'm attaining enlightenment in dependence on this sentient being, in relation to whom I'm practicing Dharma. That's 2. How your independence on this very sentient being, I'll become Buddha. That's no second reason. Now, third, remember we were saying before we ate the samosas that the Guru is the creator of all happiness, right? So you might argue with me. No, wait. No. Sentient beings, the Guru is more important. No. But you see, yes, the Guru taught you how to practice virtue, but how did the Guru come about? The Guru, who's Buddha, developed Bodhicitta in relation to all sentient beings, then traversed the path and became enlightened. So, this sentient being that's now in front of you, your Guru developed compassion and Bodhicitta in relation to that, and therefore, traversed the path and now has become the source, for you to learn Dharma. So also, that was dependent on this one, so by extension, this one's also kind. Yes? So actually, as Shantideva says elsewhere in this text, that our enlightenment, yes, on one level it does come from the Buddhas, it comes from, our gurus, because they teach us the way to practice. But, it comes equally actually from the Buddhas and from sentient beings. So Shantideva asks, why then do we, have so much cherishing and praising for the Buddhas, but not for sentient beings? Since both are instrumental in our enlightenment. So I think, I'm not sure. Not sure. I'm not sure who we should cherish more, the Guru or sentient beings.
Who should be cherished more?
I'm not sure.
Why can't
Maybe-
it be the same with equanimity?
Good answer.
I think the Guru provides the theory, the sentient beings provide the practice.
Everything that we get,
I think Guru will be more.
happiness,
Guru will be more.
all the happiness that we get is through sentient beings. And Guru is the primary.
The Guru's not a sentient being. The Guru's the Buddha. Anyway,
If you're looking at Buddha, then there's no dialogue. I mean, there's no conflict. He's above sentient.
The sentient beings were there earlier. We were there. There was no coming out of samsara. When Guru came,
Yeah. Anyway, maybe the point is for us, right? It's a little bit easier maybe to have, respect, veneration, treat the guru well. Maybe. Ascending beings, maybe the ones that are nice to us, it's okay, right? But all ascending beings, the ones that annoy us, the ones that, the ones that drive our auto rickshaws, the ones that cheat us, this is more difficult, right? So, I think maybe it's just for me, right? But I think the way that we think about our gurus is, it's approaching where we need to be. Maybe for some of us. Yeah? But the way we conceive of and treat sentient beings is probably nowhere close, not even close to where it needs to be. It's my hypothesis. I don't know. Maybe I'm in like the room full of Buddhist Bodhisattvas already. In which case I retract what I said. I'll just speak for myself. But
Repeat that, please.
If the motivation is getting out of samsara, and then that can be accomplished only with possible.
yes. No. Yeah.
Even without sentient beings, you can't maintain.
But if you want to become, if you want to have enlightenment, then you cannot do it without thinking.
And it's expected.
See, okay. First, I'll repeat, because Subhashini asked me to repeat. I'm just speculating here. I'm wondering. It's something interesting to think about. Okay. But my hypothesis, and I'm maybe speaking for myself, is the way we conceive of our guru. Of course, the real way to conceive is to think Guru, Buddha. Like no doubt, our Guru is the Buddha, and actually the Guru has all the qualities of all the Buddhas, but is infinitely more kind than all the Buddhas. So to hold the Guru as something like so much more precious than all the Buddhas. And maybe, at least those of us who have some level of respect, like quite high respect for the Guru, maybe it's approaching what we need to, how we need to conceive of the Guru. It's kind of, we're on the right track. Okay? But my hypothesis is, the way we conceive of sentient beings is nowhere close to where we actually need to be. Not even close. Okay? So I had alluded to some stanzas, yeah? So if you just turn to page 71. Page 112. Therefore, the Mighty One has said that the field of sentient beings is similar to a Buddha field. For many who have pleased them have thereby reached perfection. A Buddha's qualities are gained from sinning beings and the conquerors alike. So why do I not respect him in the same way I respect the conquerors? Conquerors means Buddhas. Yeah. Keep going. Of course, they are not similar in the quality of their intentions, but only in the fruits they produce. So in this respect, they have excellent qualities and are therefore said to be equal. Anyway, and then just jump down to 119. Furthermore, what way is there to repay the Buddhas who grant immeasurable benefit and who befriend the world without pretension, other than by pleasing sentient beings? Anyway. 119. 119. What was I talking about? Yeah. Mindfulness of Bodhicitta. Right? Seeing all sentient beings as, I will fully awaken through depending on this sentient being. Right? So all these things. All sentient beings have been our mothers. This sentient being is like a wish-granting jewel. In dependence on this sentient being, I'm going to attain enlightenment. And then also they say, another type of mindfulness, you can think, just try to conceive of the sentient being like a Buddha would conceive of the sentient being. How much does the Buddha cherish this one? Right? This is important also. This is explicitly talked about in the chapter on patience, right? So, it is said that even, Devadatta, the Buddha's cousin who tried to have the Buddha killed, right? Or it says in the Pramanavartika, someone who is, massaging sandalwood lotion on one side of the Buddha, and another stabbing the Buddha on the other side. To the Buddha, the mind of love is equal towards both. It's very interesting. Then when we go into the world, even the ones that annoy us, try to cheat us and so forth, try to think like a Buddha would think, and treat with the same level of kindness, respect, admiration as someone like applying sandalwood ointment or doing something very kind to you. And then, as I just mentioned in the other chapter on patience, right? See, since the Buddhas have compassion and love towards all sentient beings without exception, right? Then it's like when the mother sees that the child has gotten a gift, when something has happened to the child, then the mother is also happy. So, if when we interact with a sentient being, we do something kind, we can also think, oh, this then is my offering also to the Buddha, to all the Buddhas, to my Guru, because I'm doing, what the Guru himself would do. I mean, well, in a small way. You can give one little candy, give some small happiness to the sending being. You know. So we must do that. You know, these little opportunities. And one way, you know, so to think about that, this is something I'm trying to work on. I mean, I'm trying to work on all this stuff. But, you know, you can think, you see, the beggar that's now in front of you, needing food, okay? Alright. Of course, we're not going to talk now about the beggar mafia, all this business, slumdog millionaire and all that stuff. We're not going to talk about that. But you see, at the end of the day, you see, this beggar in front of you right now, okay? Countless Buddhas have appeared in the past, right? Countless Buddhas are here, you know, now. And yet, all the numberless Buddhas of the past, all the numberless Buddhas of the present have appeared, have existed, and yet the suffering of this sentient being has not been totally alleviated. You understand? There's this one who's still in need of food. Okay? Okay. So now, this one is asking you for help, right? And in this way, you can alleviate a suffering, you know, that none of the Buddhas of the past alleviated, right? None of the Buddhas of the present have alleviated. So, in that way, it's like, wow. You understand? What you have the ability to do just now is something that, you know, surpasses, in one small way, it surpasses all the Buddhas. Am I wrong? Huh? Amazing. So, you know, I have said this quotation a few times before, right? But, you know, they have the 10 Bodhisattva levels, the bhumis. So it's like, Janakirti says in the Alertness that, you know, even a Bodhisattva on the first ground, first of 10, so, you know, still, I mean, compared to us, amazing. But still a long way to go before one is a Buddha. But it says, you know, even for this Bodhisattva on the first ground, when they're asked, when they hear, you know, please give. When they hear someone, like a beggar say, oh, can you please give? Okay? Just hearing those words, they generate more bliss in their continuum than our friends, the Shravakas, right? Who attain personal nirvana for themselves alone. You understand? Okay. We can't understand. I mean, what would that be like? We've been suffering since, you know, beginningless samsaric rebirth. Beginningless time. We've experienced nothing but one type of suffering over another, right? So the attainment of liberation would be never again. We've experienced so much suffering from beginningless time. Then, if we attain liberation, never again. What would that be like to experience? How much bliss? Our heads would explode. We can't conceive. But then, compared to that, even a relative beginner bodhisattva just hears the words, can you give? And so much more bliss than the individual nirvana. Can you imagine? So this is why I say we're not even close to how we should be conceiving of sentient beings. Right? It should be with such joy. It should be. Such joy. Even these small opportunities we have to benefit someone else. You know? See, in my opinion, why this Bodhisattva gets so much joy is because, you see, they're totally dedicated to benefiting others, right? It's like they're looking for opportunities to benefit others. And as I gave the analogy of the shoe shine person in the railway station, right? Those ones always looking for shoes to shine. Do you need a shine? Do you need a shine? Do you need a shine? So can you imagine someone walks up to one of them and says, I need a shine. So happy, right? So since the Bodhisattvas are always looking for ways to benefit sentient beings, then one person comes and says, give me this. Then, it's like the wish fulfilling jewel falls in their lap. Because they know that it's actually very hard to know. That's why I hate going shopping for gifts for other people, right? I don't know what they like. I just met in Europe, I met some cousins of mine. I might have met them one when she was 3 years old. Now she's 23. I have no idea what she likes. What kind of gift can I give for this person, right? Right? It's difficult. But then the beggar, oh, can you give me that? Wow. Then in this case, you have something that this person wants. You have something that will make them happy, even if it's whatever, a candy. So I think I like the translation of this one, in the stanza 77, enjoy the blissful happiness that comes from virtue of working for others.
So,
yeah.
I have a question.
Please.
While we are looking for shoes to shine, right? Or while we are seeking we should help others. What if the opposite person actually, the definition of happiness for him or her is very not according to dharma. So if my friend says, hey, please give me money for the happy hours today on Sunday night. So by helping him, am I actually helping him, or actually I'm leading him to path away from dharma, right? So,
yes, that's a very good question. So yes, actually, this topic is very important and it's dealt with in great detail in the text the Namjong by Namjong, where it has this whole chapter on how to give, to whom to give, what to give, what not to give, all this stuff. So, yes, in general, if someone says, give me a gun, I want to kill this person who's sleeping with my girlfriend, then by all means don't give. It'd be a fault for you to give, right? I don't remember right now But I know that, they talk about the Eightfold Noble Path and in right livelihood, then to be a bartender or someone who serves alcohol is wrong livelihood. So therefore I infer that if someone says, buy me a drink, I think maybe you shouldn't give. Right? Does anyone remember from Namjong? Chinese on the emptiness section of Namjong. So,
No, precious human rebirth.
So I think like that. So yes, we have to combine our compassion with wisdom. So yes, for sure, don't give just anything that anyone wants. You have to see if it's going to be beneficial for them. And when we compare, it should be long-term beneficial for them. Of course, best is if it's short-term beneficial and long-term beneficial. Both. If not, long-term beneficial is better. And then if we're really good, what's wrong?
It's almost fine flower.
Then even sometimes it's short-term harm. Let's say you need to scold your student who's interrupting you. Then that scolding, it might cause them a little bit of harm, but then they might learn. So then you do it anyway. Okay. So we'll do just one more. Oh wait, what time is my train?
3:15.
I need a time. Lunch.
Wages to the body.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock, but whatever. Lunch.
Mother has to decide.
We'll do this in one of these, right? Always being motivated by great aspiration or being motivated by the myriad forces. If I work in the fields of excellent benefit and misery, great virtues will come about. So this is what I was talking about before, okay? In general, okay, yes, there are certain factors that make our actions relatively strong or light in terms of their karmic repercussion. Okay? So again, in the Lamrim General, it talks about all these various factors, but here it's just talking about the recipient, right, or the object. So we'll just take the example of offering, right? So what is the terminology we use? Yeah, fields of excellent benefit and misery. Okay? So field of excellence is because they have good qualities. So the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, the Arhats, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, they have great qualities. So by making offerings to them, there's a particularly strong ripening effect. Okay. Next, the field of what do they call it? Kindness, benefit. Okay. So this is like parents, your teachers, those who have benefited you a lot, right? Because they benefited you a lot, then your karmic actions in relation to them also have strong repercussions. This is on the good side and the bad side. Then last is the field of misery. That means those who are sick or destitute, you know. So, you know, someone very, very poor, you know, very poor, who has nothing. You know, if you give, let's say, 100 rupees to them, it's like, you know, amazing, right? But if you give to someone very rich, like 100 rupees, like what? You know, doesn't affect what they can do. Whereas 100 rupees to you know, completely penniless beggar, they can now eat. You know? So it means a lot more to them. Therefore, it's a lot heavier positive karma. Right? Now, I've also said, and it's true, the other thing that's very powerful in terms of field of merit is disciples of the same guru. Call it pores of the guru. Yeah. That means those of you who, you know, are students of the Dalai Lama or Namjong, right? Then all the other students of the Dalai Lama in the world, they become, you know, pores of the guru. And that means they're actually a field of merit more exalted than the countless Buddhas in the whole world. The only thing that's more powerful is the guru himself or herself. Okay? So Lama Zopa Rinpoche, when he gives advice to centers, he very much would like what sadhana is doing, right? Giving samosas to the, you know, the other of the Guru's disciples, right? So amazing. Okay? So that's the positive side. And the negative side, of course, is, you know, if you criticize these, you know, harsh words, you guys know, right? Then it's also worse than criticizing all the Buddhas, insulting all the Buddhas. So it's a double-edged sword, so to speak. Okay? I mean, we shouldn't be criticizing or, you know, scolding or harming anyone, you know? So it doesn't even need saying, really, but I'm saying especially the rest of us here, right? And those of you who are kind of senior students, you know, it makes a difference. You know, we have our new friends here, right? I hope you continue to come. But sometimes, I mean, you guys know how many new people have come over the years and how many keep coming. And one thing I hear is, you know, they see the more senior students behaving in a certain way with each other, and then they say, you know, yeah, like, these are the, you know, senior students and they're still acting like this, I'm not going to go anymore. I don't become like that. It happens. Now, of course, as I said before, we never know who's a Buddha, who's a Bodhisattva. You know. But I'm saying for the appearances, we should try to be like Shantideva was saying, nice to everyone, smiling, pleasant, always thinking I'm gonna attain enlightenment in relation to this being kind to everyone. I mean, just because it's good to be kind to others. But a side benefit to that is that, the people that come here, right? It's inspiring. When Atisha went to Sumatra to learn about Bodhicitta from Master Ling, right? Then he didn't just go to the guru, but he stayed on the outskirts and then interacted with that guru's disciple as a means of checking out the guru. And he was very impressed by their conduct. And then he got more faith in the guru. You understand? Okay, so maybe we'll leave it like that. Not bad. Covered almost 30 stanzas. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So we can dedicate the merits. So think that due to the merit that we've accumulated here today, as well as all the merit accumulated in the past, the present, and the future, by all the numberless Buddhas and numberless sentient beings, may this mind of Bodhicitta arise in our hearts and in the hearts of all sentient beings without any seconds delay. And may the altruistic wish of anxiety be gently decrease. Those dedicated to the long and healthy lives of the spiritual friends, particularly Holiness the Dalai Lama and those of the Mission. And may all of their holy wishes succeed immediately. Those are dedicated to the flourishing of the Buddha Dharma in the 10 directions. So, may these teachings, which show the complete path to enlightenment, also spread. And all those who are striving to practice may receive all the required conditions so they can achieve enlightenment in this very lifetime. And then also all of the undesirable things in the world, famine, natural disaster, war, terrorist attacks, and so forth, disease, environmental degradation, and so forth. May all of these be instantly pacified, and may none of these unfortunate, unwanted events happen ever again in this or any world system of the 10 directions. And then, given that that's the case, then, may all sentient beings quickly attain enlightenment by actualizing the entire path to enlightenment as quickly as possible. Okay, maybe that's it for now. So,